Hello, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and I know I'm forgetting somebody else. It's been that kind of day. My name is Frank Lavinia, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Frank Diggs Data. Oh, Periscope. I'm not even sure Periscope exists anymore. I probably should check and see. Here, let me do this while I'm streaming. Looks like I am sending data to Periscope, but who knows? Who knows in the shifting sands of the streaming world? My name is Frank Lavinia, and I am a data scientist, data engineer, podcaster, and a few other things that I do too. I'm also a blogger now on two sites, franksworld.com and my brand new toy, impactquantum.com, which started off as a podcast, but now it's going to be a blog and a podcast. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you, and if you're in the DC area, they closed a lot of school systems early, so the kids are running around, and which is actually a pretty crazy first week of school, first week of in-person school, which that itself has become, well, a rather strange event too. Actually going in person in a physical building to attend school, which at one point was the norm. Now it's no longer the norm. So with that, I figured I'd do a quick live stream. A couple of things. One, it's September 1st. That means that a full 8 out of 12 of the months are gone. That would make it most of the year is over. Probably a good time to check in on your goals that you set for 2021. And I'm not doing anything I didn't do, right? I'm trying to do that as well. And you'll see my screensaver just flicked on, which personally having 6 monitors, yes, it looks cool, but I don't find myself using more than 4. So it's almost like these two don't get enough love. So later today, I'll be doing probably some video editing, some podcasting editing. Andy and I just recorded an awesome episode that gonna save what it's about, but it's suffice to say it's very cool stuff. Very cool conceptually, in the sense of being able to, well, make more use of GPUs. How about that? Or different types of hardware. It also made me think, like, I should probably spend a little more quality time in PyTorch. And speaking of PyTorch, where is it? I think I saw a Humble Bundle deal. Where is it? Machine learning. So this looks interesting. So I'm definitely going to share this. Let me share my screen. Window. There we go. Boom, boom. All right. So let me hide the chat overlay. Put myself in the middle. Can I do that? I can do that. Awesome. So here we have a couple of new book bundles. This one for $30, you get 15 books. I don't get a commission. I don't get anything from Humble. Can't even say it. I don't get anything from Humble Bundle. I just think it's a great program. They donate to charitable organizations. You can see who it is, and you get a lot of books out of the deal. I think it's a win-win for everyone, honestly. I spend way too much money here. Don't tell my wife. No, she knows. So ultimately, this is a lot of good books. I have a number of these already, so I don't know if I'm going to get it. If you don't want to spend the whole $30, they have a 2-item bundle for $1, 7 for 10, etc., etc. Actually, that looks interesting. The entire 15-item bundle, actually 14 for 18. That's not bad. But I swear I saw, and let me put the caption up where this site is. Humble Bundle, they sell mostly games and such. You'll see that there's a bunch of stuff here. But I swear, here it is. This is the one I was looking for. Oh my God. Okay. So let's see what's here. PyCharm, not PyTorch. So here's basically a bunch of deals for 2 months free of PyCharm, Illustrated Guide to Python 3. This actually looks pretty interesting. Looks like there's a course on becoming an AWS certified practitioner. Which actually does appeal to me because I don't have any AWS certs, at least not yet. I should probably work on that. Now that I no longer have the blue badge, I should probably beef up my my side of this. Look at this. This actually looks like a pretty cool deal. Metasnake, that's new. At least $25 to get this. This, how much is this? $20, $21, $25. That's actually a pretty good deal. All right, so that's my next $25. This is interesting. So there's only a few hours left on this. How many hours left on that? 20 hours. If you're looking to get into music production or podcasting and you don't want to use the Adobe tools, SoundForge is a pretty good alternative. Audacity used to be, but there's been some drama around spyware inside of that. I don't know what the full deal is. I don't know. I haven't used Audacity in the better part of 16 years, but because I'm such an Adobe fanboy, but ultimately that's it. Here's an interesting. So you can see they have a lot of good stuff this time. Sometimes it's slim pickings. Sometimes it's an embarrassment of riches. This one looks interesting. This is Math, Statistics, and Game Theory. I think I have most of these books from previous previous kind of deals. That one looks new. So that's kind of that's the conundrum I get into, is that I bought so many of these that I'm not really sure. I might already have this book. Let's see. I don't think I can update. Okay. Fast Start Differential Calculus. Actually, this I could have used when I was in college, but in high school. Let's see. The machine learning one. This one is a pretty good deal. I think we looked at this one. Yeah. This one, let me tell you why I'm fascinated by this, and I'm tempted. What's this? Interesting. So I already have something like this, which is the Minute of Islands. So are these games or like packages? So let me tell you what got me into this is my kids, like most kids, are super into Roblox. I mean, obsessively into it. And this is kind of foreshadowing because, well, let me explain. So as you know, I have franksworld.com. And I think I talked about this before. First off, super proud. 161 posts for August. There's my bot. My bot is annoying. My bot is going to get rebranded into a very familiar voice, and or soon to be face. Bailey will now be the bot for the website. I'm actually thinking about converting the bot over to Power Apps Virtual Assistant or Power Virtual Agent, but we shall see. So a couple of interesting stuff here, but I now have Impact Quantum. This is the homepage for Impact Quantum, and this is really cool, actually. This lady, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so apologies in advance. Aditi Bhatia, basically in a YouTube short, which is kind of like YouTube's knockoff of TikTok, basically. She explained quantum computing in 56 seconds. Pretty good overview, actually. Like she got a pretty good elevator pitch for it. I'll put it that way. Check it out. 56 seconds of your life. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, so you'll see this site's rocking. The next step is I'm working on a third blog that will be ready to launch soon. ties into Roblox and Unity. So one of the things that I've noticed is this, even Facebook is pushing this. It's the metaverse. And do I have a link to it? Metaverse is something that was originally coined in a Neil Stephenson book called Snow Crash, which I'm actually listening now on Audible. And if you want a free Audible book, be sure to head over to here. You can get one free Audible audiobook. Very well read and written and performed by, I forget who the voiceover artist is. Long story short, I think the virtual VR, AR, I think we're almost there again. I think I'm kind of on the fence because I played around with, and I'll talk about this in another stream. I played around with the predecessor technologies quite a bit. VRML, virtual reality modeling language. Actually, on franksworld.com, I think in 1996, I had a VRML feature to the site. Never really caught on, that technology. And then a few years later, I played around with Adobe Atmosphere. Adobe Atmosphere was essentially, it was really well put together. And unfortunately, it was discontinued. And they said, we're going to loop all this stuff into our PDF format, which never happened. But it's a shame because it was a really good, very well designed kind of environment for developing 3D spaces. All that to say is I think metaverse or virtual reality is going to be a big thing. So the topic of the third blog to come is going to be basically that. It's going to be about VR, AR, that sort of thing. Do you have a name? Do you have a domain name? Do you have a stub of a site? Just a matter of basically getting Dingo to work with it. Dingo, if you're not familiar with it, is a content, kind of a meta content producer or sourcer that I built in my planned sabbatical. Because one of the things that I'm a busy guy, right? I have kids, I have dogs, I have job, I have a lot going on. And one of the things that I've done over the years is build out tools to help facilitate the creation of content, whether that's blog, podcasts. You know, when I end this stream will automatically be posted to the site, franksworld.com. Actually, for all I know, it could have happened already. Let's see, did it? No, not yet. The audio, when I push the audio, it's going to go out and it's going to go to, I can convert this to a podcast feed if I wanted, although this topic isn't necessarily germane to either data-driven or impact quantum. But, you know, I have a lot of tools in place that I've built or kind of used, whether those are Power Apps, whether that's repurpose.io, to help facilitate the creation of content. One of the things I learned when I was in DPE is developer and platform evangelism at Microsoft is that, you know, we were expected to do a lot, and the best way to survive in that environment was to be able to do one thing, kind of find multiple uses for it, whether that was, you know, a CSV parser for Windows, the Windows runtime, WinRT, which I don't know what they call it now, but basically it's the basis for UWP. Back in the day, we would call it Metro. All this to say is that ultimately I kind of had a chance to kind of take a week or so off and think, what can I do to take kind of this content management system or this meta content management system to the next level? And that ultimately became what Andy and I are calling Dingo. And Dingo basically has really transformed the way I think about blog content production. It has streamlined the production process to the point where I can now entertain starting a second and a third blog. Because one of the things that I could have done is basically get the number of blog posts per month on Frank's World up to like, I don't know, hundreds, like theoretically. But one of the things I've discovered, because I'm a data person at heart, is that there's a point of diminishing returns after around 150-ish blog posts. and was like, well, I could take that energy and put it into something else. So, and that's kind of the thing. I think that there's also value in kind of niching down. People go to franksworld.com for data science and AI type content, not necessarily quantum computing type material. And yes, I know that those two worlds do intersect, but that hasn't quite happened yet. People haven't really latched onto the idea that ultimately quantum computing is going to prevent an AI winter. That's actually where this article goes with the Night King, right? Let's see, will this load? Basically, quantum computing will prevent another AI winter, or at least stave it off. So the long and short of it is that, well, why not kind of explore different fields, different ideas, and different concepts, including guest writers, right? I do have guest authors on Frank's World from time to time, but it is Frank's World, so there's going to be a lot of hesitancy for folks to come and kind of build that brand that builds up Frank. So Impact Quantum is kind of this, not related to me. This is why Data Driven is its own domain. Data Driven is the podcast, but there's actually also something Andy and I have been talking about, was there's actually a blog that's part of this too. And you'll see I haven't blogged since December 11, 2018. So ultimately, there's going to be kind of this, just stay tuned is ultimately what I'm trying to say, is that there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff happening in the near future. This actually was a good show too. Really great. There's still a lot of exciting things going on. There's kind of the commercialization of space. There's the advances in quantum computing. And yes, I know I've seen the news. There's definitely a lot of reasons to be stressed out. There's definitely a lot of reasons to be anxious about the future. But there's also a lot of things to look forward to in the future too. And trust me, this is very real to me. I mean, as the calendar turns to September, as it has for the last 20 years, I can't help but think about 9/11. And that is I have a painting that's behind the monitors of the original Trade Center. And for those who don't know, I was late for work, and that's why I'm still here. It's one of those things where there's multiple ways to look at the world. And there's obviously a very pessimistic view, and I would say that's the default view. But there's a lot of interesting things going on. So my decision is to build, right? So hopefully by the end of this month, by the 26th anniversary of Frank's World going online, I'll have the third one, the metaverse themed blog about AR and whatnot. And that all, to tie it all back together, is why I'm interested in this this Unity thing, because Unity is a 3D rendering engine. You're starting to see Unity appear in video productions where they can kind of simulate these virtual environments and do it in real time. Interesting stuff there, but also in terms of this idea of building out a VR world. You can blame Noelle Silver for that, because she was telling me that I think she got an Oculus Rift and she's been messing around with the SDKs and stuff like that. So ultimately, that's how it kind of comes together. It's been a crazy week because first off, kids are back in school. Second, today was today they ended school early, so like in the third day because of weather concerns. And I don't know how much longer we have until the remnants of Hurricane Ida have kind of finished their way through. But I certainly hope that you're safe and that will go. And with that, I'm going to end the stream because it's dinner time. Hopefully you're having a great, I see I have a comment. Awesome. What is this AI stuff I speak of? AI, always interesting. That's what it stands for. Yeah, I think we were talking about that. Yeah, you were at the Pentagon on 9/11 and I was late to work. Yeah, I actually have, hold on, how you doing, Mark? Hope you're doing well. Hopefully that was time stamped a few minutes ago. So I didn't completely ignore you. Hold on one second. So the last time I was in New York, this was in the before time. I was actually in an AI conference working the Microsoft booth, and at Penn Station they have the tacky like touristy stuff. So I figured I got a couple of tacky touristy things for the kids. But one of the things I did get, and it was a little pricey. I think this was, it's not so bad. It was $17 price still on it. was I wanted a model of the original Trade Center. And this actually gets back into AR and VR, actually. Um, so this is where I was supposed to be. This is how it was oriented. I was supposed to be like basically in a conference room, like right there in one of the little buildings. I think this was for World Trade. I think that's what this was. Because the hotel was two. No, this was one. This was the towers are 1 and 2. Hotel was 3, and I think this was 4. So I was late for work. So I probably would have survived, but I know people who were in that room that I was supposed to be in, and let's just say they never were the same again mentally, which is totally understandable. But anyway, so getting back to the VR AR, I mentioned Adobe Atmosphere, and Adobe Atmosphere was such a cool thing. So after I think Atmosphere came out in 2002, 2003. I found myself with a lot of free time on my hands. Story for another day. So I was building worlds in Adobe Atmosphere. It was cool. So you can actually hooked up to a chat server automatically. You didn't have to do anything. Um, and you build these virtual worlds. People get to go to it. You put it online. It was super cool. Like how easy it was to do. I built an old West town. I built a bunch of things. But my piece de resistance was the creation of a virtual World Trade Center. So I basically built out um, basically just the 2 buildings and kind of the plaza with the little circle thing in the middle. It's the Tobin Plaza. I don't know what it's called. No, sir, it is not something you shake off. I mean, it's been 20 plus years, and it's just like it's still on my mind. It's well, I'm glad you survived, Mark. I will say that. But as part of the kind of the therapy for it was rebuilding kind of the Trade Center in a virtual world, and I don't know. I found that very, very peaceful. Like I could kind of go and walk around. As silly as it sounds, like I know it sounds completely silly, and it's completely ridiculous, but that was my biggest project to date in an AR VR world. And hopefully, I'll have more to say about that. Hopefully, it'll be more than just a blog. Hopefully, it'll have some kind of virtual component as well. That's why I'm rereading or listening to Snow Crash for some kind of metaverse inspiration. It's an interesting book, very prescient in a lot of ways. I think it came out in '92, and not all of it, thankfully, has come to pass. But if you kind of look at Facebook and how that works, and how Uncle Enzo and there's definitely some parallels between kind of how we live in a data-driven world and how that has impacted society. Not quite the same way, but there's parts of Snow Crash you're not sure, are they parody or are they predictive? Sometimes the both line up. But I hear the kids getting wild upstairs. So, Mark, great seeing you as always. Thanks for commenting on the live stream. Glad you survived. I'll be talking more about 9/11 in the days to come. But I figured I would just start the month off right with a stream. Andy and I actually just recorded a really cool podcast episode. And with that, I'll end the stream. Have a great day, everyone. And stay safe in the hurricane. Mark, especially you. You live in the DC area. Be super safe, man. I think you live in one of the areas that was rumored to get flooded. So be safe out there. All right. Where do I get my fancy graphics? I know fancy graphics may be a little too much, but I enjoy them.